Oh my gosh, guys, welcome back to the Connected to the Web podcast on my YouTube channel, the World Wide Web of Lending. This is what it's all about here because this has nothing to do with lending, but we're about to have a blast. Actually, today is April 8th, which is my birthday. That's not why we're recording. We were trying to find a schedule to get these awesome gentlemen in. We found a day and then it hit me. So I said, let's do it. We are having right now a recording from inside their mobile cigar lounge. And that's the first time we've been outside of my basement. So a couple of firsts here. So guys, I want to have you introduce yourselves. Smoke Showing Cigars. We're about to have some fun, guys. Listen up. What's your name, my friend?
Rob Roy, co-owner of Smoke Showing.
I'm Chris Guida, the other owner.
Not Guida. Guida.
Nope, Guida.
I just want to make sure I don't want to offend anybody.
No, perfect.
Okay. So gentlemen, I have a million questions, but we have to do a little bit of business first and talk about where this amazing idea came from. You guys have had another career. What did you guys do to come across this idea? And tell me how we got to this moment right here.
We're both Baltimore City firefighters. I'm retired. He's still active. I used to be the chair for the golf tournament for the Widows and Orphans Fund for 734.
Okay.
Which is a charitable organization that we run through the union. And they asked me to head up the golf tournament, which is one of the single largest fundraisers of the year for the union.
Oh, wow.
And while doing that, I was reached out to by the previous owner of Smoke Showing Cigars, the founder of it, which is Alex Hamburger, who's a Prince George's County firefighter paramedic.
Okay.
And, he was like, I want to help support you guys, want to bring out my trailer. And being that I love cigars and being in charge of everything, I roped Rob into helping me during the day of the tournament, helping me set up.
Yep.
And when he brought the trailer out, we just fell in love with the idea.
Yeah.
Begged and pleaded with him, after a couple of years of doing it with him, saying, hey, why don't you open up a second one? Because he lives on the other side of the Bay Bridge.
Like a franchise kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us run one up this way for you and, kind of corner the market for you. And it never kind of transpired.
Yeah.
And then
didn't meet his goals or whatever.
Yeah. Then back in I think like September-ish, he sent me a message. Hey, are you still interested in the trailer? And my first call was obviously to one of my best friends, was Rob. And I said, are we in or are we out? And he said, oh, we're in.
Yeah.
There's no hand twisting.
There was no question.
Are you sure?
It was we're in, and then we'll have to talk to the wives afterwards. So
what's that phrase?
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I was literally going to say that.
Yeah. But my wife, she is an amazing woman and helped me run the golf tournament as well. Did all the administrative stuff for me. And she loved this thing. Her and I both had the Smoke Showing hoodie since the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
So
she saw that sparkle. You were like, this is special.
This is perfect for you too. Because we sit in my garage at least a couple times a month and have cigars. Now we have our own trailer to do it in.
Yeah, exactly.
So you asked for forgiveness, not for permission. And then when you talked to the wives, were they all on board at that point? They were like, yes, let's do it. Did they have any natural entrepreneur reservations, not necessarily your concept?
Absolutely. My wife did.
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
We sat down in my garage. I have a lounge we set up in my garage with both wives. We had some dinner, we had some drinks, and we sat down, we talked it out. We got all the numbers from Alex, and realized it's definitely a solid investment, which we knew from the get-go.
Yeah.
He ran it very well, and, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Oh, man.
This is my retirement gig and his soon-to-be retirement gig, hopefully, and then we can really, the goal is to build this bigger and better.
Yeah. September 25 then, right? Because we're in spring of 26.
And we really bought into, another homage to Alex. Not only did we buy the business, we bought his big clients. They came with it.
Oh, wow.
His list of wholesalers, everywhere that he got. So really the Brotherhood of the fire department went there. This was one of those transactions where, it wasn't it wasn't like I have to sell my business. It was, everybody was positive. We walked in, we actually had meetings after we purchased the business with clients that he had, that he introduced us to.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
When you buy a business, that's not normal.
If we have questions, we shoot him a text message or we call him up, and it's, there's, once, like you said, it's the Brotherhood of the Fire Service.
Yeah.
What do you need? How can I help you? There's even going to be days where we've talked to Alex and said, hey, I coach my son's baseball team that I can't be at an event. If we're in your area, would you mind helping Rob and being there with us for the day? And he's like, as long as I'm off work, I'm in. You know,
I can imagine he probably loves that because he doesn't have all the tether to the business, but he has to enjoy this industry himself. So it's probably a cool call to take.
Before even this, he worked in cigar stores. So he did brick and mortar. And then this idea, and brilliant idea that we're just going to take it to the next level with his help. It's just going to keep going further and further. This is the kind of firefighter thing where you can't fail.
Yeah.
You just don't allow it to happen. It's not an option. So.
I mean, I've seen a lot of cool businesses, and one of the reasons I do the podcast is because in Harford County and Maryland in general, I feel like there's so many cool businesses right around the corner that you might not know when you're in and out of office, in and out of work, in and out of your school kids stuff, and then you realize, wow, there's something there. So we met because my wife has a cleaning business and cleans for your brother, who I worked with in another life in the mortgage business. I saw her, Whitney, post something, your sister-in-law, and I'm like, what is this? And I started going on a deep dive. And I think I reached out to you and I was like, hi, I'm Joe. This is an amazing idea. So I didn't want to like fanboy you guys right away, but I'm like frothing, like, please say yes.
And that's how we are about it. We love, we're going to be out at Slate Farm this weekend. We love being out there with the people.
Yeah.
And the people who enjoy cigars and don't even necessarily enjoy cigars, it's teaching them about them and getting people interested in them. It's one of my ultimate goals in the fire service was to be a fire instructor because I like to teach. I like to train and mold, and just show what we've done over the years, show the history of the fire department, the fire service, and how it became. And, with Rob being a senior guy, he's one of those guys that, the younger guys should just gravitate towards and grab on and listen to what he has to say. And that's, one of the things that we get to do here is we get to still teach. We get to talk about it. We get to teach. We get to enjoy the things we love.
And we're passionate about this. I mean, it's just fun. And I can't go any further without throwing another shout out to the Harford County Chamber of Commerce.
Awesome.
The link up meetings and Chris Reeves. I mean, the belief that community businesses getting together go stronger, that honestly, they have boosted us so quickly, and everyone has just been helpful. So
I haven't met Chris yet, but if you live in this area, you know who he is.
He's a solid dude.
And he's always trying to give people their chance to get their name out. And it's just so important because sometimes you don't. I love that you brought that up. Thank you, Chris Reeves. We'll give him a shout out, obviously, on there. I can't go any further. We're talking about cigars. I've got to thank you guys, though. First responders in a dangerous profession. I want to make sure that we say on the podcast, appreciate you guys for your service. Dangerous profession. A little bit of crazy in there when you decide to do that, so I appreciate the crazy, but thanks for keeping us safe. Where was your area that you served in the houses you served in?
I served in what would be called Elwood Park.
Okay.
I started out in Fells Point on a medic unit. I'm also a firefighter paramedic, and the majority of my career was at Elwood Park, which is near Hopkins area, East Baltimore, Middle East.
Patterson.
Yeah. And now
the city.
Yeah. And now currently I drive a Chief around, which I've been doing for the last 6 months, which is
awesome.
Really nice.
Now you're in transportation.
Yes.
How about you? What area did you serve?
I mean, to be honest with you, and he even started as well as a volunteer in Baltimore County. I started as a volunteer here in Harford County.
Okay.
Grew up in Aberdeen, and started my fire department career. It's kind of like being a volunteer is kind of like a gateway drug to becoming a career fireman.
I'm sure.
You just fall in love with the job. You don't do this job if you don't love it.
Yep.
So I've been a volunteer in Harford County since I was like 16 years old. I started over off of Broning Highway at 50 engine when I came out of the academy. And then I quickly transferred over to Fells Point at Truck 3, where I spent the majority of my career. I absolutely loved it there. It's a great area, a fun time. It's where I met Rob, actually, right before he transferred. I went over to 51 engine. And then I promoted to EVD and went up near Morgan State.
Oh, man, that's cool. Area. I guess being in the city, you have more housing, more people. You're going to be a little more busy than in the county per se. Is that fair to say? Is because of the volume of structures? Is that appropriate?
So I think the reason is it's multifaceted, but it's not just one thing. It's during the day our population explodes during the work week. You mix that with drugs, low income, rental properties, the lack of taking care of properties, which leads to electrical fires, which leads to unfortunately, drugs, everybody, it leads to knifing and shooting. And, and
That's
just,
where the calls come from.
Generally, you go somewhere, it's like any fireman will tell you, Detroit, Chicago, Gary, Indiana, all these places that are insanely busy, that you have a lot of fun, you fight a lot of fire, but you will never be rich. And unfortunately, the guys in the county make a lot more money than us. They have a lot better tax base. But
like Chris said, it's a service. And you have to have part of your heart to serve the community.
You got to love it a little bit. You got to be a little crazy.
Doesn't matter who's the busier company.
Yeah.
All that matters is
that brotherhood you're talking about kicks in.
And you have a job to do.
You come out, you do your job, you go home.
And save the community and yourselves.
Try to make sure everyone goes home.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we know some people that don't always get to say that. So, all right, I want to go there real quick. I appreciate that. Just a little ode to your profession, obviously. So, let's talk some cigars. So,
absolutely.
First of all, how did you two meet? Because I want to hit that before we start. I'm smelling this is whiskey. It's smelling me. I'm smelling the cigars. I'm like giddy. I'm a child right now, Christmas morning. But how did you two meet? Was it on a call? Was it in a house? How'd you guys meet?
So he was assigned to the Fells Point Station, 5 Engine 3 Truck Medic 10, where I was assigned as well. We were both in the 1st Battalion.
Okay.
I think the first time we actually met, we were detailed to the medic together.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And boy, was that a night.
Yeah. I'm a paramedic. He's an EMT, so they partner us together on that.
That makes sense to me as a layperson. Okay. So you guys had a call. You're like, hey, this ended up being crazy. We figured out
it's several calls.
Chaos.
Most of the time on a medic unit on a 14-hour shift, back then you did 20 to 25 calls. And it's just nonstop. You just don't stop.
Oh my gosh. That's more than 1 an hour. I do math for a living, but that's not crazy math. 14 hours of working at 25 calls is more than 1 an hour.
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible.
And the city has the turnaround time. Most of our, you're 5 minutes from a hospital wherever you are.
Yeah. Okay.
And as soon as you're done, ding, another one, ding.
So did you guys like each other right away, or was it one of those things where you had to kind of work into your guy relationship?
We had to learn to trust each other. When
that's fair.
When you're working that close with each other, and you're going into some
situations,
situations that you got to know. Excuse me, you have to know that you trust each other. So that
I liked his professionalism right away. I worked medic with so many people that don't belong in the city, and sometimes you get he's from Harford County, he's going to be different. But no, he was right there, and he knew his stuff, which is nice. A lot of people aren't willing to do stuff.
He came up in the system, I guess. He had a little more of a resume. Well, cool. Guys don't always bond like that, and I'm not saying women do either, but I think sometimes it's easier to kind of get along in certain spaces. Guys, we kind of have this wall sometimes. So it's just cool that you guys met each other professionally, formed a friendship, and then fast forward, you're like, hey, Alex called. Are you in or out? I love that kind of stuff.
I think our friendship definitely kind of connected. We're apart. We're never not friends. But it did this wave, and but I've always respected Chris a lot. Always consider him one of my best friends. I don't have, how it is. You're busy in life, so you don't have a whole lot of people you stay in contact with all the time.
Your circle.
But Chris has always been one of those guys, and that's why when it came to buying this business, it's like that's easy.
Yeah.
Who am I going to put myself in ridiculous debt with?
Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest with you.
Put your life in his hands. Why not your finances, right?
Our friendship was always there. Don't get me wrong by any means. But our friendship, and this is my opinion, but our friendship really grew, and you're going to find this hysterical. When I had my shoulder injury.
Oh, okay.
And when he was also injured as well at the same time. And social media, we're texting, we're commenting back and forth, and all of a sudden we start playing Call of Duty together on Xbox.
Really?
Oh my Lord!
All right, I was born in '81, so I'm still a gamer, Dad. Not like my kids are. It's a little weird with the games now. But...
no, strictly console. No.
So
computer.
I love that.
Yeah. So we just started playing Call of Duty and
talking crap.
When when you're injured and you're partaking in a little bit. Maybe a little too much.
Libations is my favorite word, right?
And there's some medications on board, and you're up at 2 a.m. Like, hey, I'm awake. Are you? Yeah, let's get on. And we would literally, all of a sudden, my wife would come down for work and go, "You're still playing?" And we're just like, "Oh, okay." And then when we finally both got healthy, we really started fishing a lot and hanging out and going out on my boat. And, God rest her soul, I actually just sold it, sadly.
Oh, your boat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God rest her soul.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty, my problem with Call of Duty, and we're not going to digress here, is I got into a match, it started, and some kid who was 10 years old, I know this because he told me after he killed me, He started the match and threw a tomahawk. And before I was switching guns, and I died right away. And I'm like, nope, not my jam. Yeah. So I played Battlefield a lot. That was my jam.
You got to play with better season. No, I suck. I'm a 70s baby.
Okay.
So, like, you know, I had Pong and Nintendo at the very high
You had a joystick?
Yeah, like, I mean, we had Atari, and then the 2600 came out, and then I had Nintendo in high school.
Yeah.
And that was about it. So, you know,
so that's a big leap.
I'm playing this game. And,
where every button matters.
There'd be a lot of, Rob, why are you in the corner doing circles? Come on.
you pan on him, he's just going in circles.
I did get better.
Rob, come on, buddy. Come on.
He did. We started using him as the scout. Right?
Oh.
Because we were playing with other people. We're like, Rob, run out there and just see what you find. And we'd see where he got killed from.
Yeah.
So.
Anybody see anything? Rob, go check it out.
We'll see you in the gulag, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really, in my opinion, where our friendship really blossomed. And we really started to get back with each other. I mean, granted, after a call, you know, a tough call,
sure,
you know, we'd get together, we'd have cigars sitting in the bay, sitting out on the pad, watch people walking by on a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
When we did have that minimal downtime, and you know, just sitting there and you know, making fun of each other, busting each other's balls, and you know, having that camaraderie, talking about what we did good, what we did wrong.
Yeah.
You know, on that fire. Not necessarily Monday morning quarterbacking it, but you know, debriefing
and learning.
And what better way than to
make corrections
with a 45-minute wonderful stick and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
And the reality is that not all your calls were fun ones. You know, I'm sure you had negative experiences that you bonded over, and we don't need to go there, but that's just the reality of any kind of service or military, anything like that. Not every experience is going to be a positive one, but that is a chance to bond and just give the attaboys, you know, so I know that happens.
And if you don't mind, while we're discussing this, I would like to point out that we, you know, as first responders, we respect the military, respect the police, everything, all that.
Amen.
We did start a thing called the Project Hero.
Oh, yes, right. I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
To where if you come into our cigar shop and you want to buy a cigar, that's awesome. If you don't want to necessarily buy a cigar, but you want to support the troops, right now we are running where you can purchase a cigar, we throw it in a bin, and as soon as we have enough, we're going to be shipping them overseas to the Air National Guard, who is deployed right now, you know, protecting us. To give them a little bit of taste of home. So maybe you don't smoke cigars, but you can still purchase a cigar through us, or a cutter, or a lighter.
Anything.
And we're going to ship.
I'm sure they'd love that.
We're going to send it over to them, give them a little taste of home.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's fantastic. We'll separately promo that and make sure we come back to that because that's fantastic, guys. I love that. It's one thing to say local support. When you show it and you prove it, that's fantastic. I love those kind of ideas. All right, awesome. Well, let's get on to some funner, some greener pastures if we can.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
All right, one. Okay, I want to play with some toys. So let's assume for the sec, because I'm not an expert at all, but I've smoked cigars before. Take me to the real basics. Before we talk about smoking, pairing, all that stuff, we got to unwrap it and we got to cut it, right? Is that where we're starting?
Yep, that's where we're starting.
Let me back up for a second. How do we choose a cigar? How do I know? People walk into a location, your shop, brick and mortar. It's a little overwhelming. Some of the guys are a little hoity-toity in there sometimes, so you don't really know, what's going on. How do I choose? What the hell do I start with if I've never smoked cigars before?
Okay. First thing you want to make sure, if you've never smoked a cigar before, you want to stay away from anything that says Maduro.
Maduro.
Yep.
Why?
It's a heavier, more aged, normally an oily, more aged cigar, a lot more spice, pepper to the taste. You're going to get
punch.
A lot more of it's what they would call a full body or medium to full body cigar. And I feel like a lot of times people get pushed into those. Now, some people, Maduro's fine and they can smoke it the first time and they're okay, but most people, it's a horror story.
Because they're not used to that thickness, the full body. Yep. But the person who's recommending it probably loves them because they've aged into it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great.
If you stick with the middle, like even if you say I want a a mid-body cigar or a light cigar, like Connecticut shades, any type of like the African Cameroon wraps, you got your Connecticut shade, your Ecuador shade, just any type of and it's not necessarily a light wrapper. It's not necessarily the color that'll tell you if it's too strong or not. It's a lot of the build-up, a lot of the wrap, where it's coming from, like Nicaragua. And some parts of Ecuador have a whole lot of really strong. They're known for a lot of strong. But if you stick to Dominican, African Cameroon, some of your Pennsylvania, a lot of stuff like that, you'll get a more milder. It's just all about the region, the sun, how they're grown.
So if I use, not to cut you off, if I use the language full-bodied, I'm getting that Maduro. What's the alternative language to use? Or what's the opposite of full-bodied?
A mild or a mid-body cigar.
I'm using that language, mild or mid-body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mellow to medium.
Okay.
And that's exactly what this right here is.
Mellow. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use these terms, and I want the audience to kind of figure that out. When they come to see you guys, they can kind of streamline a little bit of that.
And that's what we love is we are not cigar snobs at all.
Not cigar snobs. I love that.
We want people to come, and I can tell you, I can smoke a $10 cigar, a $5 cigar. I can give you one that's probably just as good as some expensive cigars if you're not necessarily ready for a $20 cigar, a $13 cigar. We can set you up. Several times we've had people come back and say, wow, that helped because the one I'd had before was horrible. I had a horrible experience. So, and that's what we want. We want people to have a good experience. This is all about unplugging.
I think growing the community starts with that, right? The first time somebody says, you know what, these are cool guys, I'm going to give it a shot at Slate, any brewery, wedding, whatever. You don't want them to walk in and go, holy smokes, pun intended, I'm out of this joint, You want that experience.
Cigars isn't just about smoke. It's a social lubricant.
Hell yeah.
You sit down.
He just said social lubricant. We're coming back to that.
You sit down for 45 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes, whatever the cigar is that you chose, and you can put your cell phone down and talk. And just get to know each other.
That's huge.
And that's the huge thing about
it. And that's the other, you added into that, the two big things is if you're going somewhere is, what do I want? Mild, full body, medium body, mellow, and also, do I want a 20, 30, 3-hour cigar? What am I looking for?
My gosh, that's a cool thing. No, I wouldn't have picked that too. So so the way that it's prepared changes the duration.
Absolutely. You can just the gauge, the size, the length.
Does size matter?
Sometimes.
I'm just kidding.
You're not going to get me to answer that one.
Yeah.
I played a fifth.
So you can go all the way from a cigarello, which is almost a cigarette.
The little tiny guys. Yeah.
All the way up
Swishers, is that what a cigarello is? The smaller one. Yep.
All the way up to Asylum makes a 9x90, which is 9 inches by a 90 gauge.
Oh my gosh.
So, and you're talking, that's a 4-hour smoke.
Okay.
So
do you come back to those? You come back to those, right? Does somebody sit down for 4 hours and do it? Or do you come back to it?
I did an event the other night, and I had a 7x70 that I smoked for the whole event. So
that's wild.
We were there for about 5 hours.
I want to get there. I do. Okay, so I've come in. I've asked for medium, mellow, light-bodied. We talked to a couple. What's some brands that I might hear for that?
Drew Estate.
Okay, that's a popular name.
Oh yeah, Perdomo.
Perdomo.
Those are a lot of your, Rocky Patel.
That's a huge name.
And a lot of these brands also carry heavier cigars.
They carry the gamut, right?
You can run into, but Perdomo they make so many good, just like medium body, mellow. They're just, Perdomo is almost like a Lot 32, a Sungrown, a 2010, or a 10. They're all just great cigars you can give to somebody, and they're probably going to experience.
All right, so before I get one in my mouth, and that I said that knowing that's going to lay me up for a lot of buffoonery with my friends. Price tag, we kind of hinted on that. Is it fair to say that the price does not necessarily guarantee the experience?
No.
It's not fair?
No.
It is fair.
No, it's not fair because, we have a cigar that we sell for $5.50 that if I took the wrapper off of it, handed it to you, and then handed you a $30 cigar and took the wrapper off of it, I guarantee you're not going to know the difference.
Okay. That's my point. I do think some people that walk into those brick and mortars think that they have to get a $10 to $15 range
and don't get me wrong,
$30 range.
Don't get me wrong. There are some horrible $4 or $5.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
But there are also some horrible $30 and $40 cigars.
In any industry, there's duds. So okay.
And then like anything,
bulk buy or whatever.
Somebody likes filet mignon. Somebody likes a T-bone. Somebody likes.
Great point.
It's the same thing.
Great point.
I may love a Plasencia that I think, this is the best cigar, and somebody else may be like, I can't stand those cigars. How do you smoke them?
But you've developed a palate and a taste for it.
But that's the thing.
It's your palate. It's the same thing of, do you like Merlot? Do you like Cabernet? Do you like, a rye whiskey versus just a regular straight bourbon? Like, it's all on your flavor palate, and that's why you can't just go and try one and go, this isn't for me. Test the waters out a little bit.
Yeah.
And see what we're doing. And the other thing that comes into play is, what are you drinking? Are you sitting here? Are you having a soda? Are you having a wine? Are you having a whiskey? Or are you just having a beer? Like, what are we going to pair it with?
Awesome.
So we know right now what you're drinking, which is Jefferson's Reserve.
Right, before we go into this, real quick, the other thing, because I don't want to leave people stranded. The last thing when you're in a store, you need to know if you want a straight cigar or if you want some flavor. Those are the other.
Okay.
So, no.
The tobacco
Strength-
flavor
the strength-
versus something else.
The strength of the cigar, the length that you want to smoke, and if you want a sweet flavored cigar, or if you want just a good traditional. I just wanted to touch on that.
And if I ask for sweet, is that bringing down the quality?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay, so I would have thought that those flavored ones are a lower quality to get to a broader audience.
Absolutely not.
No. Drew Estate and Nub have really
I've seen Nub, right?
taken it to the next level. This
sitting
is premium.
So what are you smoking right
tobacco.
now?
I have a Drew Estates Deadwood Series Leather Rose.
Deadwood Series Leather Rose. Okay.
This is one of my personal favorite cigars.
Where is that on the scale? Is that medium?
This is a medium.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit. It's sneaky heavy.
Okay.
To where if you didn't know, it might get you on the back end.
Probably an acquired taste on that one. Not going to be a first timer, most likely.
Well, not that size, but if you
Okay.
go down to like the petites, be a great starter cigar
Okay.
for somebody. Which you're gonna get to taste today.
Okay. I was going to ask you, what am I going to taste? Okay.
But right now, like I said, we know what you're drinking.
You wet the whistle a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. His birthday. So little birthday drink for
Gentlemen,
him.
appreciate you being here, by the way.
No problem.
Thank you.
Salute.
Feel
And,
weird saying happy birthday to me, but I
this is
appreciate you guys being
I
here.
believe a 90 proof.
Mhm.
So the general rule of thumbs for pairing, if you're under 100 proof, you stick with the more mild.
Oh, that's
Like,
huge.
You go from
Under 100 proof, you stick with
like
mild.
the 90s, 90 some proof. You want like a medium body cigar. If you're hitting the 110s, the bourbons, like the 110s, a lot of those are like you get the rare reserves, you get the 105s, 110s.
Aged. Yep.
You want a Maduro. You want a nice peppery cigar, or you want a complete opposite.
Yeah.
Something sweet, totally different. So,
Which brings in your personal palate at that point.
yeah, and like what we have here, what he was getting into. Go ahead, the Nico Rustica.
Another Drew Estates Connecticut shade Nico Rustica. Very mellow cigar. You're gonna get a lot of the earthiness out of this one.
A little bit of creamy.
What's the gauge on this so the audience can see?
So that is, I believe, a 50. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
50.
Here's my thumb.
4.5
Basically the
by
thickness of a
50.
thumb.
So that's a 50 gauge.
And going into looking at the cigar, right? A lot of people, they pick up a cigar, they smell it. That's
You see it on TV. You see the
it's-
corn on the cob thing. You smell it.
We love the smell of tobacco, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do it if you want.
That's not going to
But
make or break your.
It's not gonna tell you a lot about it. But there's different ways to get started on this cigar. How
Yeah.
are we gonna cut it? We're gonna do a straight cut. We're gonna do a wedge cut. We're gonna do a punch.
Oh yeah. So we got to pick a cigar and then we got to cut it. So
but when you're going,
what is this pain box we have here? This reminds me of Hellraiser.
So we carry these. This is a
one of our accessories
like
we carry?
Colibri. I don't know if you're a big famous company for all high quality
I
pens.
have not heard that.
They do pens and all kinds of stuff. They also do cigar accessories.
Can I hold that?
Yeah, sure. It's got a straight cut. and a
Jesus,
V
the
cut.
weight is.
So this is definitely one of our higher end. We carry, just so everybody knows, we carry from the bottom to the higher end. This is I think this $130 cutter.
Something around
About
there.
$130, but that's a Colibri. And this is something that would look beautiful if you have a desk. at
I was
work,
about to
or
say, it
you
looks
have
like a
desk at
paperweight.
It's a tabletop cutter, and it catches what you cut.
Yeah, I saw
you
the
just gotta
reservoir at
empty
the
it later.
bottom.
But very sharp, very be very safe with it, please, obviously.
Yeah.
So when you're going to cut a cigar, we're going to do a straight cut for you,
Okay.
right? When you're going to do a cigar, I've seen it millions of times. People take the cutter and they come all the way down here and they cut it off. Well, you do that. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to unravel. It's going to unroll. I don't want to say you've ruined the cigar, but you kind of have. So each cigar has what's called a cap on the end, and that's what kind of holds it together. And you want to pay attention, as you can kind of see, the cap is right there.
I have never noticed that. I always wanted to know why, because I've seen that and wondered what that is. So what's that telling you? A danger line? Don't go past that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
go past
And a lot of people smoke a cigar and say, "What's wrong with this? It's unraveling. Something was wrong."
Yeah, yeah.
And
You
it's
get the tobacco getting
nothing
loose.
we did. Yeah. It
The
was
cap
your
got cut off. Okay.
So
much.
you want to pay attention to where your cap is when you go in.
Hold on one second. Can you do that here? Is it possible with the logistics? Can I hold it?
There we go. So you want to go in, not too far.
Rotate a little bit. Yep.
Nice, even pressure. Come right down through.
Oh, that's so
and see
satisfying.
how smooth that is now.
Yeah, this is
And no,
awesome.
no mess either.
So, how many cuts will stay in that reservoir before you have to undo it? Any idea?
it's about. I think we had like 8 or 10 at the one.
That's
and it was
great.
Kind of backed up. So
For someone like me, that's
Yeah,
6
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
That's so a paper.
Well, maybe
I'm
not
a
after
desk.
today. You may be
Well,
once a week.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping to go down a rabbit hole. So this is a Nika
Rustica.
Rustica. Okay, Connecticut shade. This is same gauge as. Oh, this is the one you gave me before. Okay,
Yeah, it's a 50
I'm gonna
gauge.
smell it.
There's a Mexican, I believe it's a Mexican wrap with Nicaraguan and
Which is the Nika?
Connecticut
Okay.
shade Ecuador inside. So your binder and your filler.
Oh man,
And then
awesome.
the other thing that people a lot of times will do is they light them in.
Okay.
So when you go to light them,
Yeah,
you
learn me.
You
Learn
don't,
me.
You don't want to take the lighter and put it right up here. You don't. So when you click the lighter, you can see the flame, and the flame comes up pretty high. You can feel the heat all the way
On
up
the
here.
good ones.
So
Yeah.
you want to toast it, as we call it.
Toast.
So you'll take. You mind?
No, please.
You'll take it.
Yeah, just give me.
You'll
You
hold
show the audience a little
You'll
bit.
hold it away from it, right?
So you're about 3 or 4 inches away.
You start away and then come in as you start to see
Okay.
it brown and
Awesome.
things like that. So you get the heat on it, and as I'm doing that, I'm kind
You're
of
rotating?
I'm rotating both at the same time, right?
Yeah. So you're making a motion with the flame, and you're also rotating the.
And in the cigar
stick.
world, this is what stops the common problems, which are known as tunneling and canoeing.
Now put it up to you. Put it up. And now you can start to take a puff. And now you've got a nice evenly lit cigar.
Oh my god, I'm so excited! Woo! Let's do this. Okay, so I want the audience to get the full education experience. I don't want to sound like a moron. So I'm obviously not inhaling it. It's not a cigarette, but
No.
are we doing longer puffs? Are we letting it sit inside to get the flavor releasing?
That's totally up to you.
Okay.
That's the
Is
great
there a wrong way to do it?
You know, you're trying to savor the flavor. Let's play a game here for a second.
Okay, let's do it.
Take a nice puff in
Okay.
and hold it for a second or two.
Full.
Kind of swish it around in your mouth and then let it out.
Because what you want is that, you want it straight as
So
a
you
burn
use
as
two
you can
terms: canoeing, and then what was the other term?
get. Tunneling.
Tunneling. So the
So-
middle, tunnel is the
yeah.
middle, canoeing is the edge.
Yep. So sometimes the middle will burn in, and other times it'll canoe where like one end's not lit, and the other end's lit down here, and you have like this kind of off-centered cigar.
Yeah, I've
and you
seen
end up
that.
having to light the other end to catch it up.
Okay.
3 reasons that happens: either you lit it wrong, maybe you're puffing like crazy, and you just got that, or there's always remember cigars. Well, anyone you get here, they're handmade.
Not everyone's the same.
So if a human makes
Could be a little
mistake,
pocket.
if they get a pocket, if they get something, and
The tobacco is not perfectly shaped.
sometimes you just write it off as part of the experience.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate. Maybe you just got a cigar that's going to tunnel. And there's nothing you can do about it. The middle's not as tight.
So canoeing and tunneling, something to be aware of. You
And-
can readjust your flame if you see that.
And sometimes, it'll do that in the beginning, and then by the time you get to the middle of it, you're normal. Like, I mean, if you look at mine burning nice, even.
Yeah, that's
just
got
like
a cool
his
look
is.
to it.
For some reason, we're losing the burn.
Well, I'm going a little slower.
We look like the top's not.
So, question for you: as far as me, my mouth side, and there's no way to say this without sounding awkward as shit.
Yeah.
But am I putting? Man, this is going to sound really sexual. It's not meant to be. TV 18. But am I putting my lips on it? Am I not? Am I teething it? What's the correct?
That's
Whatever
kind
you're
of
Teething it is going to break it up faster,
If
right?
you bite it, you're going to pinch it, and you're going to pinch the draw.
Yeah.
So, but some people like to do it. They like to chew on it. They just put it in their mouth.
Very
Like, yeah.
My grandfather would chew it, and he would have almost at
It would
this side would have a little bit of a flat. Yeah. Okay.
Once again, let's play this game here.
Okay.
Grab your drink.
Okay.
Take a draw.
Drink first or draw?
Let's cleanse your palate. Let's go with the drink first. All right.
Oh, I love that.
Then take a puff. Hold it in your mouth. Kind of move it around, and then let it out. Do you get the back end flavors?
Yeah.
What are you getting?
Literally in the back of the back part of my tongue. I'm trying to pull that flavor out. I can't say. Is it?
You should get a creaminess like tree almost, like a
It's
creamy
earthy. I was trying to think of the
yeah.
word.
Earthy.
Earthy. Not peat mossy like Scotch because I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Scotch.
Now you'll get
Wasn't
like
that strong?
almost a oak kind of
Oak.
earthy,
Oak. Yeah.
interesting draw on that, especially with the Connecticut shade, and you'll get that like a woodsy, earthy, and then almost like a creaminess because of the lightness of the cigar. It's really hard to get all the flavors at once, but normally
What's crazy is I didn't taste the cream until you said it, and then I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's where you take that, then you have your drink, and they kind of offset each other because that's got a little bit of bite to it, you know. And as where you got this nice, smooth, mellow cigar, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk.
I'll tell you what, the sip after the longer hold is enhanced.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Isn't that it'll bring out all the barreling of your whiskey if you smoke
that's
it right
cool.
and you take it,
And now my throat's feeling the flavor. The flavor's going all the way down. It's not on the tip of my tongue.
exactly.
Well, this ain't going to last long.
Yeah, if you pair it right and you stick with that, even if you just stick with the less than 100 proof, keeping a lighter cigar, as long as you're talking about I'm not talking about a flavored or a heated or anything like that, just a standard bourbon or whiskey, you're gonna hit it out of the park. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be,
and this one's gonna pair really well with the tequila as well.
Not my jam because I went to Tijuana. I had a bad experience in Tijuana with tequila. We won't go there. Another show for that. But I tell you what, I went to a event called Whiskey in the Woods. My buddy Paul's gonna be watching this. He already texted me. His birthday was a couple days ago anyway. So every guy to bring a whiskey. It was 20 guys. We all brought a whiskey. We camped up. We had a property in West Virginia. We camped a mile up, set up camp. Super cool. Everybody had to bring something different. We actually had tasting cards. First time I ever did that. Having all of those flavors at your disposal after cleaning the palate. It's the first time, this is 10 years ago, first time I ever tasted the difference. And you're reading the bottle trying to taste it. What I'm thinking now is it's a very similar experience with this. Matter of fact, I went to my first oyster festival, had the same experience. When you actually have options, you taste the difference.
Oh, yeah.
So like you said, you can't take one cigar and then complete your experience because there's other options. You don't know what you're going to like.
And we're doing a event here in May over at Black Forest Tap House. It's a bourbon and cigar pairing night. They're going to have 3 different Basil Haydens. And we're bringing cigars. We're going to do the same thing.
Pairing that cigar right there with one of the Basil Haydens. So what do you think as a bourbon pair?
Yeah.
Are we hitting it out of the park? Are you gonna enjoy this?
We definitely hit the nail on the head on this one.
They're going to have live music, buffet. It's you got to purchase a ticket. They're only selling 50 of them. We're going to have the trailer there.
Well, shit, I need to get mine because me and my buddy are going to go to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I don't predict that the tickets will last long.
Okay.
So we're going to teach about
2 cigars, 3 choices of bourbon, 3 tries of bourbon.
Food, music. We're going to have the trailer there. So
and you guys,
if you like,
it's worth at least $10.
Yeah, easily.
If you like the cigar, we can come out to the trailer, get you another one, get you a box, whatever it may be.
So you're going to set up shop. You're not just bringing some stuff in.
No, we're going to teach. We're going to teach about pairing, cutting, lighting, everything.
See, I'm giddy about stuff like that. I think it's a great thing for you guys in the community as well. Okay, so we have talked about cutting. We talked about lighting, smoking. What's next? We're pairing. You didn't bring whiskey, so I want to talk about what you have with you because you don't have a whiskey pairing. What did you bring as a drink?
So once again, you can pair so much with a cigar. Nice wine, whiskey, vodka, tequila, pretty much anything. But one of the big popular things that people are using for people who don't drink. So and I do drink, so let's not go there.
We don't want to false advertise.
Yeah. I don't want people to think I don't. But I'm not a big whiskey guy.
Okay.
I'm more of a wine, vodka guy. But I brought something else that you wouldn't even realize it. Dr. Pepper.
Oh, dude, of course. Because it has like 20-some flavors or whatever in there, right?
23.
23.
It's on the bottle. It's great.
Okay, yeah.
Make it sound smart.
Yeah, exactly.
I was close.
Like you said, I'm having the Leather Rose. It's a sweeter cigar. So I kind of get the flavor of this with the Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
And it's.
Oh, I can imagine.
Even if you did a Maduro, even if you did a shade, even with your cigar right there, you would be fine.
Because it pairs. One of those different flavors pulls out in whatever cigar you have.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so cool.
I mean, you can do mocktails, everything with, whether it's with a soda or whether it's with cranberry juice.
And that's what people like wines. Like a lot of people, we have some really high-end premium cigars that are infused with espresso, with chocolate, with all kinds of stuff that can pair with a red wine. That can. It's not your Black and Milds or your Swisher Sweets, which I'm not knocking.
Yeah.
That has its own market.
To each his own, right.
This is a whole nother, it's not just, here's some cheap. These companies are spending a lot of money
to give you experience.
To infuse, to age their cigars with these flavors. And it's definitely not, what did I say? It's not your father's Oldsmobile. It's not how it used to be.
So the industry's kind of changing. We'll talk about that in the next segment, I think, which I really want to hit on that. But one more thing. I'm developing a friend here at the end. When do I know when to tap this out and ash? Is there etiquette? Is it best practice?
That's kind of a...
It's funny because they say a good cigar, your ash will go for so long. But I can tell you what I have a big history of doing is just smoking, and all of a sudden it falls.
It falls. Well, you got to be in the right environment, right? I mean,
it's not a cigarette. You don't want to be flicking it.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to ash, it's
I just kind of like hit the cigar, and if it comes off,
that put it there.
Because I've got about an inch of ash.
There you go.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
But like I said, I mean, you can lightly dab it, but you don't want to be flicking it like a cigarette. Like, because then you're going to start messing up the cigar.
Okay. Well,
and don't worry about the end getting wet or putting your teeth in it.
So as far as the technique, and I think we hit the technique. What about etiquette? So I'm bringing in a puff. I'm tasting it. My Jefferson's hit me hard. When you're a smart cigar smoker around a room, you're at a wedding, you're inside of an event, is there a right and wrong way to send your smoke? Like, I want to hit everything, man. Like, I mean, as a layperson would say, is it wrong to put it back at you if you're smoking? Is it nobody cares? Nobody gives a crap?
If you're in a group of guys smoking, it doesn't really matter. You know, but, you know, if you're at a wedding...
Because we're all doing it.
And obviously, they want you outside.
Yes.
No doubt. In the
Certainly.
state of Maryland, can't smoke indoors.
Okay, well, that's a good point.
You know, whatever.
We follow all state and federal regulations.
Don't be into the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the wind is blowing this way and that's where your event is, go to the other side of the building.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Because you don't want it to carry
and
to the non-smokers.
You know, some people,
respect.
And if you're close, if you say there's like 7 or 8 people smoking, you know, you can blow the smoke up.
Yeah.
If you, especially if you don't know the people or anything. A lot of times, what happens, and we've even seen this at events, there may be 7 or 8 people out there that don't know each other smoking that are all of a sudden all talking around it. Like,
I love that.
The last event, we thought these people knew each other, and we went and they had never met each other.
Just bonding over the experience.
Yeah, just sitting there.
I want to sit in that pocket and spend some time on there. So, all right, is there anything else before we talk about who smokes a cigar, who can, who does, who should? Anything else about the experience, technique, etiquette we hit on that you think a lay person should know about before we transition?
You're never going to get all the notes. So it's like anything, a beer, a wine, a whiskey. You'll taste stuff, but you know when you become an aficionado or you become a sommelier and you learn how to do this different stuff, it's not necessarily about enjoying it. Like for me to be an aficionado, to do what's called a bridge or a retro inhale, just to get all the notes, has nothing to do with enjoying the experience of the cigar.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. Don't worry if you don't taste everything, but if you focus, you kind of will hit a little bit of it all. And especially in pairings, that's where it really brings out the stuff. But if you don't taste the creamy, if you don't taste some of them, I mean, have extensive coffee with notes of chocolate with this, that, and the
it's not a failure or a dud if you don't get that.
Don't expect to taste a chocolate coffee they're just talking about these notes that you might just hit here and there. Yeah. Unless you're smoking a flavored cigar. Just go for the experience of the taste you get.
And the environment.
You know? You may taste, I don't know, grass and something else that you love.
Earthy.
You know, and you love it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, just because you don't, a lot of people are like, I don't taste these notes. I don't know. Well,
like, I'll be honest with you, when we first tried that one, you know, because we were trying to decide for this upcoming event at Black Forest Tap House, you know, he was saying what he got, I was saying what I got, and I really got like almost like because I like to cook, almost got like a hint of like oregano on it. And he's like, well, you know,
I didn't get that.
And his agreement is that's the earthiness of it.
Oh shit.
You know,
yeah,
but that's where I was going with it. What I got, the way I just got the spice out of it.
And we both enjoyed it.
And that's the other thing. The biggest thing about cigar etiquette and cigar, whatever, like, do what you like.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what Rob like. Like him and I, totally different spectrum on cigars. He likes the heavy, spicy, peppery.
Yeah, I got that.
Cigars.
Big gauge.
I don't like spicy.
4 hour.
Well, I mean, I'll do those, but like, you know,
if it was a mild.
Yeah, like I mean, one of the heavier ones that I like is the Liga Privacidad #9. I absolutely love those. And that's
Sounds badass.
That is a heavy Durastate, like There's
You gotta know what you're doing to hit that bad boy.
look them up, read about it, because that's a really cool story about those. We're not going to get into that, but you know, and that's the other thing. All these cigars, the underground from Drewer Estates. I'm a big Drewer Estates guy.
Okay.
You know, but they've just got some stories behind them.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like people just think, oh, they just grab tobacco and roll it together. No, that's not how this works.
No.
There's, you know, they're trying 20 or 30 cigars in a day. These people at the factories and where they're creating them, trying to make them, and there's a lot that goes into them. And this is some people's livelihood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you know, they
This is
love what they
supporting
do.
entire economies
Yeah.
in countries in Latin America.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, and you know, and people don't realize that, and that's one of our goals too, is in future is we want to go to Ecuador, we want to go to Nicaragua, we want to go to
You better take a film crew, because that'll be epic.
Well,
I mean, maybe we'll take a podcaster with us.
I mean, we want to support.
Is Jen going to approve that one?
Yeah.
What was that about permission and?
You know, we want to support this whole industry, and that's what it is. You know, and
that's cool.
And going back to it, like you said, like find a cigar that you like, find a brand that you like, experiment with those. You don't have to necessarily worry about what the binder is, what the filler is, like just find something you like, learn about it from there. Don't go and research everything. Don't try to research these. Don't try to research the Ligas. Don't try to research the Cohibas. Find a cigar that you like, then learn about it, and that's going to be the easier way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm like 10 years into studying cigars, and I feel like I still have so much to learn.
But I think it's a cool thing to say, though, because if you find one you enjoy, maybe that's a good rabbit hole to go down, but you're just wasting your time. I do know the layperson probably gets a little overwhelmed because they think that all that stuff matters, when in reality, you can have a blind taste test and pick one out. And what I love that you said is $10, $30, you might not know the difference. Flavor, not flavor, you might like or not like, and then the pairing. So there's so many different ways to shake it up. I'm hoping the audience kind of takes that away. And my goal was that people come to you and say, hey, I want to learn. How do I do this, right? So let's take a quick break and then figure out who smokes cigars, what kind of because you got some funny things to say that they're not gonna think that. I know where we're going with this from our coffee we had. But let's figure out who a good cigar smoker is and where they're gonna come from, your clients. So let's talk about that. One. Okay, so not only are we doing a day of firsts inside, we're now doing my first recording outside. So pardon a little bit of the lighting. Got an awesome logo in the back. So we're switching gears a little bit. I was smoking the Nica Rustica. Now we're going to transition. What are you going to have me do this time,
This
buddy?
is a Connecticut Shade that you were smoking. We're going to go to a Nub.
A Nub? Got it.
So that's the brand name. They do a lot of really good cigars, and they've actually recently, in the last 6 years, gotten into some infused and flavors also.
Okay.
But this is just a standard Cameroon, which is an African leaf. Really smooth, creamy, great cigar. I think you're going to love it. It's a
large
great
gauge.
seller.
It's a big gauge.
Yeah, it's a 58.
58. Woo!
So, yeah.
Camera says Cameroon here. Okay, awesome. All right.
we're also going to switch you up by giving you some Dr. Pepper to pair it with.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a
One of 23 flavors is going to come out.
or a V cut.
A V cut. Okay. Yeah, you got to cut that.
I'll cut it for you, but we're going to put you to the test and make you light it yourself.
Let's see if I
We're
learn.
going to be toasting and then lighting.
Oh boy.
So this is your wedge or V cut.
Oh, you guys can't. I don't know if you can see that. It's literally a mountain right here of a wedge. That's awesome. Okay. This is great. I'm going to fail on camera. This is wonderful.
Here's your torch.
All right. So we're going to do.
Click it on.
All right.
And just start moving it in closer. Slow it down a little bit.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
All right, you're good. Now get the middle toasted really well. All around the edges, and then now you can do your draw.
There you go.
You're good. You're good. You're off.
How'd I do, gentlemen?
Pretty well.
Good.
Mm. Oh, that first flavor hit me right away.
Yeah, this is a great cigar. This is, like I said, one of my. I love the nubs.
Oh man.
The first 3 to 4 puffs on a cigar are generally always the best and most the freshest.
Yeah. I still can't get over seeing that cap. So there's a little layer around here where the actual leaf is rolled differently. I've always wanted to know what the heck that was.
So basically when they roll the cigar, they cut out a little circle, and that circle goes over, and when they hand roll it, they pat it down, and that's your cap. You can actually roll it off you could actually roll it off if you wanted to. So
But then
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is new flavors already. So I didn't take a sip of Dr. Pepper yet with this, but so it's not the earthy's not there on this one. There's something else there.
You're going to get a lot of creaminess. You're going to get notes of a little bit, if they say notes,
Smooth.
Smoothness, coffee, with a little bit of hint of possible some chocolate. And it's just a very smooth, real nice
Smooth is the
tobacco.
perfect word before I take a sip. All right, let me pair it now. Let me see what we got here. Okay. Man, that flavor hits big. Geez, I've never tasted that part of Dr. Pepper before. Oh my God, there's the chocolate.
I told you, it's
Oh, that's so cool.
And
I'm like a child at Christmas.
No,
and
I
the
mean,
unwrapping
my
it's
gift.
great.
you know,
It's-
the average, the average person who just is like, oh, I'm gonna have a cigar. They don't pay attention to these type of things, and that's what we're here for. You have us at whatever your event is. We're gonna try to educate you. We're gonna try to teach you. We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna have a good time with you. And that's the other thing about cigars is tell us your story. Well, we're sitting here, we're having a cigar. Tell us about you. Tell us about your kids. Tell us about your wife, or what sport you play, or whatever it is that interests you.
or
you
your
know?
husband, if you're a female up here smoking with us.
That's,
Okay, so
Or,
that's a good lead in. That's what they call a throw in. Okay, so all right, well, before we talk about the business, which I want to get really deep into and make sure the audience knows where to find you guys, we had a really interesting conversation when we met for coffee, which the audience knows I always meet somebody for coffee. They know that. So who is a cigar smoker? Who are some of the most interesting groups of people you've seen? Tell me a little bit about that, because when I think of a cigar smoker, I'll be the guinea pig here. I think of a wedding style, maybe the dads and grandfathers getting together to celebrate. My friends and I have done it, but it's a male thing in my head, definitely males, older males. But that's not true. You told me that. So
No,
learn me a little
absolutely not.
lesson here.
it's not. That's not necessarily true. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
It's definitely male dominated.
As is a lot of things. And is that fair? No. We did a bull roast. Actually, our first event this year was a bull roast, and we had a girl come up to us, and she's like, I vape. I've never had a cigar before. What would you recommend? And I said, well, when you vape, like, what are you doing? Are you doing all these flavors? You're doing this, you're doing that. So we set her up with 3 different cigars. We gave her a leather rose, a petite leather rose. We gave her a nub espresso roast, one of the smaller ones in the tube that I showed earlier, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the other one, but it was an unflavored. She went out, and within 45 minutes came running back into the trailer, and she's like, I need more. And I was like, more of what? And
You had me at puff.
yeah, she tried the leather rose, she tried the nub, she loved both of them. She gave the nub to her friend, and she smoked the leather rose. She goes, I want to take 3 of those home with me.
Damn.
And just like that, she fell in love with the leather roses. And now I know she's going to try the Fat Bottom Betty or the Crazy Alice or the Sweet Jane. Like, there's just so many.
But I would
different
never have
avenues.
thought that. I would never have thought that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, females are getting big. And as a matter of fact, one of the biggest out there, Karen Berger Cigars, female in a male-dominated industry, bringing out some really kick-ass cigars, some good stuff. And you'll see women smoking traditionals and everything, but they've really pushed to bring in the milder, some flavors, some infusions, not just flavors, just aged with espresso beans, aged with cocoa, bringing out all these flavors and then saying, yeah, have a cigar, chill out, have it with your red wine, relax, enjoy with it, talk with each other. And, it's definitely broadening the cigar audience. So yeah, the men in the business suits, sitting in the lounge, now it's like the guys on their back deck, and the wives are over there having theirs, and the guys are having their cigar, and the firemen. I mean, firemen. I think that's cigars. I mean, they all smoke cigars. I mean, it's
Well, the other thing too is, not to cut you off, is that I'm not a smoker, because you mentioned that lady had vaped. I don't smoke, never have, and I can really enjoy this experience. So maybe that's something to bring the audience too. Like, you don't need to be a smoker. I'm not inhaling it. No. I haven't coughed yet. Now, I'm not like, but like, I'm taking a deep breath. I'm deep enough to get the flavor, but this is not an inhalation thing either. So I would want to dispel that myth, I guess is the right word to use, where this is not an enhanced version of smoking either.
There's still tests going on as far as they say, like, gum cancer or mouth cancer. But
Okay.
there's nothing that really directly relates it. But let's be honest, it's a vice, like anything else.
Has to be responsible.
You live one life, have some fun. Some people don't like to do anything that's harmful, and that's their life. I want to enjoy some. I mean, I'm already having some bourbon. I'm going to have a cigar. It's your choice on what you want to do. I can just tell you, I'm an avid smoker. From all throughout nice weather, I smoke 5, 6, 7 cigars a week. As soon as it's cold, I'll go a month without touching a cigar.
So that's interesting.
And I'm not, I don't have any issues. I'm not, it's not like a cigarette where, every other day, every other hour, you're like, man, I need a cigarette.
Well, that's probably where some of the bad, because we're relatively the same age. I think Rob's our senior here, but in moderation, right? Like anything in small enough doses is not going to kill you per se. And I'm not being a doctor here giving advice.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is a lot of people that you got to realize that when you're having a cigar, that means it's time to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Because this isn't going to be, 5 minutes and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, you can get a cigar that's going to be 20 minutes. You can get a cigar that's going to take you 3 hours. Don't expect to sit there and have this cigar and then all of a sudden you're going to go get into something else. This is wind down, relax. Like I said, tell a story.
Which I love about it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's really probably our favorite thing about it is just getting people to unplug. Chill out. Let's set the phone down. Let's actually talk to people.
You just said something kind of funny. So I feel like, and I'm trying to just think real quick, I can't imagine an experience where me or anybody wants to smoke a cigar where it's not a positive one. Now maybe you had a negative experience and you unwind.
Yeah.
But this is the unwound. This is not the wind up.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
by the way, the way that this is burning, the flavor is incredible. I've never had one this smooth before.
And that's
and look, just to go back to you're lighting it, you did it, and it's always easier to light it yourself than lighting it for somebody.
Yeah.
But
it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly,
he just protected himself, by the way, because he lit my last one.
Yeah.
He was trying to get out of that one.
But and this is, people ask about like a $5 cigar and a taste and stuff like that. Okay. That's an $8 or $11 cigar.
Okay. 8 to 11
around there. You're going to get a tighter wrap. You're going to get a little bit better burn, and the flavors are amazing. Now, on a $5 cigar that we carry, a Flor de Oliva, which is a great cigar, might not burn as perfect. It might be a little, flavor is there. It's a great cigar. But do you notice that that's a premium cigar, hand wrapped? How it's burning, how it's, like the ones we're having, how it's been a solid smoke this whole time, not have any issues.
Well, my former one's right here. You can see just the difference, and you did do a great job, but it's just interesting to see how they burn different. Like the way the smoke stack on this one, the ash stack, it's just fascinating because, like you said, it's handmade.
Yeah, even out in the sun, you can see the different oils in the different cigars. They do have an oil in them.
Oh,
and these are like a real light, and you'll see on the Maduro leaf like a little shine. That's the oils from the leaf because it's aged a little longer. It was pressed, and you just get the different reflections of the oils.
That's cool.
On there. And that's when they talk about like the oil of the cigar, or it's an oil leaf or a light, and that's where you get. But I'm a huge fan of the African, the Cameroon. I think it's a great smoke.
It's fantastic.
A lot of people love them. We sold a lot of those at Slate Farm to people that were concerned, like I've never really had one, and that's
they were once again they were going out having one, and then came back in and bought 5 or 6 more to take.
Well, that's what I'm thinking right now. That I can't imagine someone has this as a first experience and says, "Oh, it's too much," And I've been around people. I myself had one like, "Oh my Lanta," But this is kind of cool. I mean, the difference between those two is so night and day. And not better or worse, just different experience.
It is. It's totally different.
And that's the cool thing, right? Like I said, there's so many different brands out there. There's so many different styles. At one of our events, once again, we had another guy come in, and he's like, "I'm not really a big cigar smoker, but I smoke cigarettes." And we're like, "Okay, well, what kind of cigarettes do you smoke?" And he's like, "Well, I smoke menthols." We got something for you.
Okay.
The Asylum. It's like kind of.
You guys know what that translates to in your world, yeah.
Right.
It's called a cold brew Asylum. It's infused with mint and coffee and some scented chocolate.
He was standing
cool
outside
ideas.
smoking it, and I was dealing with another customer, and he peeked his head in and he goes, "You were spot on.
Oh,
he goes, this is
love
just
that.
like having a cigarette. And I was like, don't inhale it. He goes, I'm not. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's go change real quick. You're trying to inhale it.
I'll tell you a quick story. When I was younger, at the volunteer firehouse, you know, one of the guys, the guy who, I'm going to give a shout out to Frank Janzak, city paramedic. He's the one who got me into cigars.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Frank.
And one of my friends, he will remain nameless, took his first hit of a cigar. He was a cigarette smoker. And literally as he was inhaling or drawing it in, he went to inhale. And we all yelled, no, don't. He did. And as soon as he did, he turned as green as your grass. And I just yelled, go to the drain.
Go.
And he took off and he just started throwing up.
Yeah.
And these are the conversations you have to have with a newbie. You know, that was our fault. We didn't say, hey, don't inhale it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, when they're first new to it, they
don't know.
They don't know. So, but, you know, like I said, Frank Janzak is the one who got me really into cigars. And it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, this isn't chemicals and filters and Raptors by a machine at a factory by Marlboro cigarettes or anything. This is
that's got to make
tobacco leaf rolled. That's what this is. So the strength is all there depending on the cigar. And yeah, you inhale like a heavy cigar.
And get rocked.
Yeah,
and the training, the time it takes to learn how to do this is insane.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm going to have some rabbit hole experiences after you guys leave, just going down these rabbit holes. But yeah, so to kind of get back to what we're talking about, it's just I think it's really special for you guys as you're trying to grow your business, grow your audience. Is that you don't need to be in this little pocket of smokers. You don't need to be male. You don't need to be old or young. Basically, if you want to have a relaxing experience, this is one of these things you can try. And I like you said vice, which was kind of funny, but it's no different than a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Or a drink of whiskey or a beer, right? Again, done responsibly, but it's you're scratching that itch, right? And this, I think a lot of people would love to try something, but they're intimidated. Number one, they walked into a brick and mortar and it's this other world. It's like a Harry Potter. You know, you go and you're like, what is happening right now? If you ask somebody, I've had an experience, and I won't name the place locally, Harford County, where you go in and feel like you shouldn't be in that building. They're like, what are you doing? Because I asked questions like, I don't know this, I don't know that. And it was like, why are you here, dude? And I bought anyway, but I was just like, I grabbed something and ran.
We want those people to come.
So you said something to me.
People to come here.
I want to tell you guys that every conversation I've had with you two has been educational based. I kind of get the sense you really love to teach about this industry and this product.
Yeah. And you know, that's the one thing, like, I don't want, you know, or we don't want, you know, the brick and mortar stores thinking we're trying to compete with them.
No.
We're offering a totally different service, and, you know, and once again, nothing against the brick and mortar stores. There are some that are absolutely phenomenal.
And we can't compete with them.
Yeah, and we can't.
Yeah, we can't compete with a membership and a lounge and a bar and a huge humidor, you know, and that's just not what we can't do that.
That's not really your competition, though, because the experience that you guys have, and we haven't shown the lounge and stuff, it's different.
No, and one of the things that, you know, that we do in our partnership is, you know, Rob takes care of getting all of our inventory on the cigars. That is, I leave that to him. The events and the event planning is on my side of things. And one of the things that I really try to do and try to value is that if you call me, if you're like, hey, my daughter's getting married, I want to have you guys there or whatever. I want to sit down with you. I want to sit down with the bride and groom. I want to get to know you guys, know what you're about, know what your friends and family are about, so we can curate. So Rob and I can sit down and curate exactly what we're going to have there that day. You know, this isn't just call us and book us to come out to your event. No, it's a process. You know, we need to talk with you. We need to know what your clientele is and everything. So that way we bring the right stuff.
Yeah, we don't say a premium cigar experience because you call us up and we're like, $2,500 we'll show up. No, we say, you know, and I think maybe some people kind of like say, I want to book you for this wedding. And then when we say, all right, we want to meet with you, I think they're kind of put back a little first because they're just not used to that. But at the meeting, you know, they're going to understand why. Because you want an experience, we want to provide that experience. We want it to be 100% what you want.
I think that's special. And what a great segue into, let's talk about the business part of this itself. The products have been amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. And I know there's one more coming, but I am so excited, pumped. I'm humbled by how much information you guys have given me in the last 20 minutes. But I do want to help you grow your business. So let's talk about that. And Chris, you brought into that right away. And so, let's chat a little bit about, what you're trying to do to get your name out and what type of events you guys love to get phone calls for. And that'll be a good way to kind of get into that if you're cool with that.
Oh, 100%.
One. All right, let's go. So real quick before we talk about the business, I just want to tell you guys that I'm having this like vision in my head, and I've had a consistent theme unintentionally. I didn't set out to do this in my podcast, and the idea of mental health keeps coming up. And it started with some teen suicide. Kind of got into that space, met some amazing people, amazing organizations, but I am thinking that this is a huge opportunity for men. And I know, like we've talked, Rob, that like the younger generation, like you said a couple minutes ago when we were talking off camera, a little more used to kind of sharing how you're feeling, say, hey man, I need your help, I'm having a bad day kind of thing. I'm 40, I turned 45 today. We're almost the same age, you're a little older. We're not used to that. When we grow up, if you had a problem, shut your mouth, suck it in, and it'll pass. This too shall pass. Just deal with it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but because I'm not trying to be the emotional sharer. At the same time, part of the issue is as men, we don't have a lot of conduits for a healthy way to get stress out. And a lot of us as men, we make bad choices.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to go into that world, but I think this is a huge opportunity. I don't want to like put you guys in a space that you didn't mean to be in, but I cannot imagine that it hasn't come up before in some way. So have you guys had any interactions where guys are like, hey man, I really appreciate service, your products. It really helped me kind of, decompress, debrief. I mean, whether it's the firehouse world or whatever, has that come up with you guys?
I mean, 100%.
Absolutely.
Before we took over this business, we used to do almost a monthly where we'd get a couple guys together from the fire service,
Okay.
especially if there was, a bad call or something happened, within the fire service that we all just needed to kind of reset, you know what I mean? And we'd sit there
off, yeah.
and there's no judgment. It's say what you need to say, talk about what you need to talk about.
Laugh about inappropriate things.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, for 100%, when I left the fire service, that was my life. From the time I was 16 years old to the time I was I'm 40 now.
It's a long time.
Yeah. It was my world. And when you're a fireman, you're a fireman. It becomes you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I lost that and left the fire service, 100% honesty, I owe it to this man and my wife, because I went to, slipped into a bit of a depression and just was down on myself, felt like I failed because I didn't do my 25 years like I wanted to do. Didn't accomplish all the things I wanted to accomplish in my career. And if it weren't for him, weren't for cigars, weren't for my wife, talking to me and some other really good guys from the fire service, helping me through it, that I might not be the person I am today.
Did you use this cool habit of yours to kind of take a deep breath and get in your space and let it kind of come out?
Yeah, because like I said, earlier that I got a lounge in my garage that we hang out in. I got a bar out there, and Rob and I would sit out there for 3-4 hours having some drinks, or sitting in the pool, whatever it may be. And was able to talk to him and my wife without judgment, without worrying about, where this conversation was going to go. And they helped me work through a lot of issues.
And doing this, even if you're having a rough day, you're having mental health issues, you're having the stress that, men worry about a whole lot of different things.
Yeah, we carry different weights.
We carry different weights. Even if you don't have somebody right with you that day and you're just having a day, you go out on your deck and you get maybe a drink and you start a cigar. You're going to be out there for 45 minutes. You're going to reflect. You're going to actually reset.
Yeah.
You're not just pounding a drink and going back into anything. You've now committed 45 minutes to yourself, which doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
It just
families, life, careers.
And it's important that everybody does that. Women, wives, husbands, everybody. But this is one of those things where, as men, especially me, I'm one that does. I'm in the same as you. I don't want to talk about this stuff, but I can talk with close friends and stuff. But forces me to reset, to sit out there, let shit go, and reset. So for us, for me, it can sometimes be I don't want to say crutch because that makes it sound like you're supported, but it's just a support way for me. It's a way for me to interact with people And
Yeah.
especially the fire service. I can't tell you how many times, not just Chris and I, just anybody, even, and I'm not getting into any dark stuff, but even funerals, we lost some firemen. And I can vividly remember being in our dress uniforms, having a cigar before we were doing this, or before and laughing about stories with the people we lost. And that's just what you do.
Oh my gosh.
So it's worth it's.
Yeah, that's priceless. And I, as you said that, I was thinking about veterans. You talked about the military community. You had what's it called again? Your Heroes package?
The Hero Project.
Hero Project. That's an amazing idea. But even when you come home, right? God willing, they come home and they have different lives, right? What you described, that exit from that that house and your business, veterans, they have whole groups for that because it's a shift, a dynamic shift, and a lot of guys they can roll with it, man. But some guys can't, and it doesn't mean you're weak or anything like that. You just need a little help, and not that's going to solve all the world's problems with a stick in your hand. But what I like about this versus alcohol or anything else is that the time, right? Yeah. If I try to take 45 minutes as a beer drinker, I'm not a little guy. I'm 4 or 5 deep, and then I can't drive.
Yep.
At that point, I can't manage my family. I can't have a coherent conversation with my wife when she comes home. But I'm 45 minutes on this, putting it down, cleaning it up, back to life.
Yeah.
And that's a very unique experience that it's kind of evolved in my head as we're, hearing you guys talk about that. And for that reason, I kind of think this is almost a better vice, if you have to use that word.
And this is important to me. And my daughter's a veteran. My daughter's in the military. And I just want to say, a lot of times people are like, what's wrong with our veterans nowadays? And it's something nobody really thinks about. When our grandfathers, fathers served or whatever, they went, they served, they came back on a ship. It took 2.5 weeks to get back. That they were on a ship with all their guys. Now somebody can be fighting and tomorrow they're home.
Oh.
There's no
debriefing, decompression.
These guys are going from war zone to a base to home. There's none of this 3.5 weeks on a ship with all the guys. And I don't think a lot of people think about that anymore. But in this day and age,
I wouldn't have thought about that.
How do you expect these people to adjust when they literally were just in the sand killing people and now they're home a week later?
And they got to pay bills.
Yeah.
They have to go grocery shopping.
Go right back to
take care of the kids, the babies, the wife, the husband.
The grandfathers from World War II were on a ship with their buddies for 2.5 weeks, decompressing, talking about everything.
Man, I never would have thought about that.
That's
powerful.
And the other thing is, and not to take anything away from our military and veterans, because what they do, I couldn't do it.
Me neither.
And more props to them. When they go overseas, they see what they see over there. It's horrible. It's gut wrenching. You never want to see it, right? And that's one of the things that's great about them. But when you look at your first responders who live here, your police officers, your firemen,
in the community,
that most of them serve in the community that they live in, right? And they see something bad happen. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole on the things they see that are bad.
Yeah.
But it's in their community, and just driving down the road and they drive by that house or they drive by that street corner of where that bad thing happened, it has just now reminded them of it.
Oh my gosh.
So, PTSD is different for everybody.
Yes.
And certain things can hit, certain things can't. And, you're driving down the road, you're 5 minutes from your house, you see that call you were on, reminds you, takes you back to, whatever it was that day. All right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to sit out on my deck. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to light up a cigar. By the time that cigar is done, my kid's getting off the bus. I'm in a better mindset. And I'm not saying that this is for everybody. It's not. But if that's your outlet, that's your outlet.
Well, and it goes back to the theme because we kind of came up down this topic because we talked about growing your audience. And I have to believe right now after this experience that there are a lot of people that don't know this is an option. Outlet, maybe you call it. Vice has a little negative connotation, but whatever your habit might be, this is a really cool option. And I'm hopefully you guys can benefit from this experience, your breweries, you're getting your events out and growing your audience, because I think it's a really great choice that is not known about or understood. Most people know about cigars.
I think it's misunderstood.
Right? Misunderstood is probably which I wanted to dispel some of the myths.
Yeah.
But having you guys serve a community and then realize the ripple effect of that community, I almost think you're not providing a product, you're providing an experience. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And that's what we want.
Yeah, that's
all right. We got you your third taste. tasting here now.
All right.
This is a leather rose.
Third time's a
Deadwood.
charm, they say in some circles.
Yeah, so this is a Deadwood series by Drew Estate, leather rose. I'm going to turn it over to Chris. This is his favorites. So we'll let him talk.
Wait a minute.
up a
My
little
last
bit.
name's Webb, and there's a spider web on this one.
There you
So
go.
that's going to work real good.
There you go.
The leather rose. Now we're gonna get you into that flavor profile.
My God,
Okay.
it smells so good.
It's gonna have sweetness. It's a little fuller of a cigar than what you've been having.
Okay.
So you're definitely gonna get that when you light it up. The
Okay.
aromatics of it. I was smoking that earlier. I have now switched over to the other one of the Deadwood series, the Fat Bottom Betty.
Fat Bottom Betty.
It's a little bit lighter
I
of a
love
cigar,
Betty.
not as sweet, not as heavy.
And I have a Toro Fuente.
I'm sure the camera, that's beautiful.
That is you can't go wrong with a Fuente. You really can't.
Don Carlos. Good cigar.
Nice.
So, but this one's on you. You're gonna cut it. You're gonna light
Oh,
it
boy.
on your own.
Oh, boy.
You did good lighting it, but now let's see. Now just remember, equal pressure, smooth down through it.
Okay. All right, look at the cap. This actually has a governor, so you can't go too far.
Yeah.
You won't
That's
go too
cool.
far.
All right.
Like butter through it, right?
Oh, my God. Look at that. I don't know if you can, with a light behind you can see it. Oh, man. That's so cool. That's so cool. All right, so I got that. I'm going to light it.
This one will be a lot smaller, so a little easier to light.
Oh, that started lighting right away.
Now you're ready to inhale.
Gonna draw on
Or
that.
draw.
Not inhale.
Not inhale, draw. There you go.
And hopefully we just knocked your socks off with the cigars. You never thought they'd have this much flavor.
The second my lips touched that thing. Oh, my God. That's incredible. I want to, lick it. Sorry. Don't try this at home, kids.
They're
I mean, it is your
You can see
birthday.
this, yeah.
and
Full bodied.
Yeah.
It
Totally
punches
different.
harder.
Yeah.
But you
totally
know what? I
different
feel like you
experience.
graduated me to good. So
We
we
did.
had a light, medium, heavy.
There is
Yeah, it
methods to our madness.
It's almost like we do this for a living.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah. So we're going a little high life here. We're pairing it with my Macallan 12-year Scotch. The little different Scotch itself, if you haven't drank it, is very earthy, peaty. So it's going to be interesting to have this flavor. So
We're trying to sweeten it up just a little bit.
I love that Scotch.
And what that should do is that should really bring out the
my
Scotch will
God.
have like the peatiness and like the oak, and that should really bring out the sweetness in this Scotch also.
I feel like the flavor just changed.
It-
The flavor of the cigar just changed after my sip.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, we've been
Yeah.
telling you. Oh, my God.
I mean,
Okay. All right, listen. I am so excited. You've definitely changed my life from this. I'm pumped. But I want to help you really tell the audience about what you're doing in the community specifically. How are you getting your name out there? We talked about the what. Let's talk about the how. You have a business. You're
Yes.
entrepreneurs. You got to grow your business, grow your audience. So what are you guys doing to get out in the community, and how do we find you?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Good.
We're always available.
You guys aren't
on those. You
TikTokers?
can-
Not yet. Not yet.
Soon to be
Okay.
TikTok.
Okay, soon to be. All right, good.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah.
We
Facebook
don't wanna
and
embarrass
Instagram
ourselves.
definitely we give updates consistently.
Okay.
I post at least 5 times a week, if not more.
That's
Chris
great.
is on there outside of that. We're interactive with everybody. If you message us, we'll get right back to you. We'll let you know what we can do for you.
Okay.
We also have a website,
Yep.
smokeshowingcigars.com.
SmokeShowingCigars.com. Logos in the back. Easy to
Recently
see.
just built up. You can see our events on there and some pictures for our gallery. And soon we'll have a link to our apparel.
Ooh.
So we're going to do apparel
Merch, as the kids say.
and accessories also. We will be selling all our accessories, cutters, lighters, things like that. Cigars, maybe in the future. It all depends. Online cigar scare
a little
sales
different.
terrify me.
Maryland's a little a little difficult sometimes in those.
So if I
realms.
come to an event of yours, I like the cigars. I get the cigars from you right away. But if I like the equipment, I like the cutters, I like the lighters. You have these things
Yes.
with
Yes.
you. Okay.
we have them with us, or you can always shoot us an email or a text message, and
For suggestions, ask for suggestions, stuff like that.
100%. We'll recommend. We'll get you pricing. Also, if you like the cigars that we had and you want to deal with us, other than that, shoot us a message. We can meet up with you and get you cigars. You don't just have to come to an event that we're at.
Awesome.
And a lot of the events that we are doing are public events. We're doing some at Slate Farm, some at some golf courses for golf tournaments. So just because you're not playing in the golf tournament doesn't mean you can't show up to the golf course and come visit us and sit down and hang out in our lounge that we have.
So you have public events where anybody that's there can kind of come and say hi, get your education experience. Then you have private events. What kind of private events do you guys do?
Weddings, graduation parties, block parties, any kind of corporate event.
Block party's sick.
If you want us to come and set up in your cul-de-sac, we'll come and set up in your cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Bachelor. Yeah, 100%. And, once again, a lot of people don't realize that we want to get to know you. If we're doing an event for you, we want to plan it. We want to cater it to what your needs are and who is going to be there. The only thing that we're going to tell you can't do at our, you want to come and have a drink inside of ours, you want to smoke inside of our trailer, have at it. That's fine. We just, we want to be very careful. We want to be respectful. No children are allowed inside of our trailer.
Okay.
No one under the age of 21. So, if you're coming up to visit us.
Can't sell to anyone under 21.
That as well.
Which makes sense. Tobacco, right.
We just want to be upfront about that and make sure that everyone knows, we're here to have a good time, but we're also got to protect ourselves and protect our investment.
And the community. I mean, you don't want people getting the wrong impression, and
exactly.
They don't want to see your lounge and get the wrong impression. So what's the most popular for you? Public events or private events? What are you finding is like the volume wise in a calendar year?
Right now, public. We've got quite a few events at some breweries. Like I said, we've said multiple times, Slate Farm. We're doing one doing the cigar and bourbon pairing at Black Forest Tap House.
We'll be at the Bay Bridge Boat Show next weekend.
Oh, that's great.
And we'll also be at the Annapolis Boat Show. So come see us if you're going to be there. Because we will have everything you need.
Boating and cigaring, I can imagine, are great pairings.
Yes, yes, 100%.
That's awesome.
And as he's saying, and Chris is good at this. Chris is our sales guy. He's our, sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves, that kind of deal.
Ice don't ask him out.
Yeah. So, but we will cater anything. Now, mind you, our big events, we do have pricing, we do have ideas for weddings and golf tournaments and stuff. But hey, say you call up, you send us an email, and you're like, hey, I'm having 10 guys over my house. I want this. We can either come, do a tabletop, select the cigars, be the aficionado for the event, go through everything, or like Chris just set up for a wedding, the guy purchased cigars from us, and we have a nice tray that goes to the place. Everything's displayed right up about every cigar, and we roll out.
Oh my gosh!
And we roll out. And then the next day we pick up the tray. And
so something like this table where it's a presentation somewhere in the geography of the event.
Yes.
And you aren't manning it. It's just there.
Yep.
They've already purchased cigars. You're not worried about somebody stealing one. They're already purchased by the host or whatever.
Yep.
And they're there to help elevate that experience.
Yep.
What a cool idea.
We're also doing we're going to be at the Harford Wine Fest this year in September. Over at Rockfield Manor. And that's where, believe it or not, the wedding that he's talking about is going to be at Rockfield Manor as well.
And
that's
we'll be
awesome.
up in the VIP section. I don't want to take away because in the general admission section, Main Street Cigars will be there, and they will have cigars for you guys, like they always have. But in the VIP section, we're going to have the private trailer there.
Okay.
So I don't want to take anything away from Main Street. They've done a great job for
They're
that
a local person. Yeah.
And they have a lot of my money at that.
Yes.
I've spent a lot of money there.
Spent many a paychecks in that store. But yeah, no, like I said, anytime you want us for an event, once again, we want to sit down with you. We want to get to know you. This isn't just a fly-by-night show up and get set up. We want to know why we're there, who we're there for. We want to know, what we're celebrating and how can we go above and beyond for you. You're the customer. You get what you want. You get what you pay for as well. So, we're ready to do what we need to do for you.
That custom experience is really special, especially with such a unique idea you guys have. Your presentation's got to be unique. Your product has to be unique. Everything's got to be that way. And you guys have a cool pairing as like a business couple too, which is really cool, which is great. So question for you. As far as like connections, who's a good business to connect you with if my audience members, my fellow podcast guests, who we have a little web community, pun intended, that we kind of stay in. We've all kind of helped each other. What's a good type of business that would be a good pairing with you guys to maybe make some opportunity?
Any kind of event planner, to be honest.
Okay. The planners themselves.
Yeah, event planners.
Photographers?
And photographers. We've met one through Chris Reeves. We've met one, Carrie. She does photography and videography for weddings. If I screw up her name, I apologize. Carrie Paradise Photography.
Okay.
She was actually one of the ones who helped us get in with Rockfield Manor, got us in over at K&B Bridal. We did an expo there.
Awesome.
It's any type of event.
Breweries, obviously.
Personnel.
If you're a brewery and you're watching this, you want us there.
You do.
We're gonna bring people.
So I actually posted the picture of us having coffee, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And then somebody was like, oh my God, these are the guys. I was at Slate, had a great experience, didn't get a chance to go in because he had to leave, and he wanted to go back and ask. And the person he asked, couldn't remember your name, but then he saw the post. He was like, oh yeah. So I don't know what that guy's name is, but hopefully he hooked up with you guys.
We'll be there this weekend.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
At Slate.
Come see us.
So so I'm hearing any kind of gateway person to the gatherings. Anybody that is a part of any type of gathering, wedding, brewery.
To be honest, the biggest thing is finding the decision maker. Whoever the decision maker is.
Sure.
Granted, there's a lot of people who might want us there, but then the decision maker, if they don't talk to us, they're just going to think, oh, we don't just want cigars there. They need to get a hold of us, talk with us, and let us show them what we're about.
And I think that's what I want to take away too, is when you mentioned that custom experience, that's why you want to talk to that decision maker, because it might be easy to say no to cigars if you're a decision maker, because you might have a predisposed position on them, right? But if you understand the elevated experience you guys can provide, it's a whole nother level. Well, that's great. So we kind of touched on who would be a potential client, a lot more broader audience than you may think of in the past. But I have one final question that I ask all my guests. I kind of gave you a lead in on this when we had coffee. Hopefully you've been thinking about it. I'm a nerd. I'm a dude. I've got boys, teenage boys now, getting older by the day. But we're big into superheroes. You guys are obviously superheroes already because you are first responders. Whether you accept that or not, I'm giving it to you. But
we do not.
I know you don't, but I didn't ask you. I told you. So you're good. You guys are heroes. We appreciate that. So, all right. Superpowers. Do either of you have a superpower that you think you've recognized, or are you still trying to figure that out? No wrong answer.
Mine is being able to read a room.
Okay.
When you walk into
that's
a
great.
room,
Yeah.
is, being able to figure out who it is that I need to speak with.
Okay.
Who is going to make the decisions? Who is going to be the person that's going to further our business for us?
Okay. That's a first. Reading the room. That's a first.
When you walk in as a firefighter, when you walk into a house full of people for a 911 call, you've got 17 different people trying to talk to you and tell you what's going on. But you got to figure out who that calm person is that you're going to get the most information out of.
That's cool.
And over 20 years in the fire service, I kind of pride myself on that's what I was able to figure out.
You figured that out. You figured that guy right there is going to.
Yeah, I want to talk to Grandma who's sitting over there not yelling and screaming.
Yeah, she's been scoping everything.
Yeah.
That's a good.
All right, how about you, young buck? What do you got?
I think my superpower, and it's I can just talk to anybody.
That's great.
I can walk into any situation, and then my wife says this all the time. In 10 minutes, I have new friends. And she's like, and she's, we were in Mexico, to give an example, and we went to this bar, and 20 minutes later, I'm at a table with a guy from Czechoslovakia, a guy from Russia, and a guy from Ecuador, and we're drinking.
Like you've been friends forever.
Yeah, and she's like, "How do you do this?" But yeah, so
that's
I guess
funny.
that's I'm not so necessarily good. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I am not a salesman. That's not what I do. Which is probably another reason why this partnership works so well.
Yeah, yin and yang kind of thing.
Yeah, and we respect each other and trust each other. But yeah, I do some of the boring stuff behind the scenes, but it makes it exciting when I see all the cigars.
Yeah, I don't think it's boring being able to talk to people. So we have very similar superpowers. Mine is I can spend 5 minutes with someone and make them feel like they've known me for 20 years. But it's not disingenuous. I'm not selling. I'm not like, weaseling my way. It's one of the things that happens with me. I can make you feel comfortable. That's what I'm good at. So you're very similar to that. So I can't thank you guys enough. I hope we covered everything that we needed to cover to share with the community about how badass you guys are in your day jobs, now your full jobs, and this business. I will do everything I can to get you guys as far out of the reach as possible. Everybody that meets on my show, I say they are now connected to the web with 2Bs. And I am so proud to have you guys be connected, and I can't wait to tell your story to as many freaking people who will listen, either on my show or not, because I'm super pumped about it. That's awesome.
And we're so gracious for you to have us to help us get our message out there.
Absolutely.
You know, we're gonna share it with our followers on social media as well.
Awesome.
And we look forward to seeing any and all of your followers at any of our events.
Well, I'll be there at the Black Forest Tap Out event. My birthday's today, the 8th. His is the 10th of May. You guys are right dab in the middle.
There you go.
He's a DHS guy. He was like, "Yep, I'll be there." Bang, we're gonna show up.
I'm not gonna tell you which one, but you're gonna have a leg up on everybody because one of the cigars we gave you today is one of the ones we paired for that.
You're featuring it, okay?
So,
all right.
So you're gonna have a little bit of a leg up, and we may lean on you a little bit there. Maybe call on you.
First-hand account. Ask this guy right over there what you think about it.
We grabbing us. We want to give you a hat.
Oh my God,
So
I'm a hat guy.
We noticed you're wearing hats, so we want you to rep us some.
I gotta let Jesus go a little bit. Here, we'll go here.
Well, you never let him go.
Nah, I know. I'm just kidding. Oh man, this is fantastic. Appreciate it. I'll actually be repping this on some future episodes with other guests because I love it. Thanks, guys. Listen, I appreciate you both being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We're at my house. We're outside on a beautiful day. It started off at 29 degrees. It's not now, so now I'm starting to get hot.
Yes.
I have had a blast. I learned a lot of things. We learned how to choose a cigar, how to cut it, how to smoke it, how not to smoke it. We learned how to pair it, and we learned who to pair it with, people, places, and events. Guys, good luck on your business. Thank you very much, and I'm so excited for you to be connected to the web with 2Bs. That's cheesy as hell. Remember it. It's all good. To my audience, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today as much as I did. We're signing off right now. Thank you for tuning in and connected to the web on the YouTube channel, the World Wide Web of Lending. You guys have a great day. Thank you. We'll be back soon.